medical issues, education, the syllabuses you're seeing, the corruption, the what, all those things. And they need somebody that is steadfast, that needs to move Uganda from where it is to where it should be. The Uganda we need, region by region. So we discussed as a few colleagues in the party, and we said, no, I think enough is enough for this particular
but with all respect, Honorable Richard Serumala,
and we can move.
You are running for the leadership of the Democratic Party, or what is left of it. And I'm saying what is left of it because...
You're right. That's why you say what's left of it. Yeah. By the current leadership.
Yeah, because look, you have big name, high name recognition of the Democratic Party left a long time ago. You have the Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago gone. You have Betty Bakireke Namboze gone. You have Segona gone. You have Umpuga gone. You have many people. You have Mukaku gone.
Recently we lost 3.
Yes. And the rumor mill was having it in Kampala.
Nantongo and Rutamaguzi.
And the rumor mill was having it in Kampala that even Honorable Serumala was planning to leave.
No. Unfortunately, when it comes to problems, there are some people that run away from problems. There are others that smile about them. There are others that hide. But I'm one person that does not run away from problems. I attack the problems the way they come. Head on. Like you said, I take the bull by its horns. You know, so I'm not that person that is timid. I'm that person that will look for a solution where there is a problem. I'm that person that will look for an opportunity where I see a problem. I'm that person that will thwart the problem, find the strength, the weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that we have, and then find the proper solutions for this particular person. So, with me, I am not disappearing from the Democratic Party.
You are going to face 2 formidable challenges. Experienced, acute politician, you know, have been there for quite some time, big network, eloquent leaders. Do you know what you're up against?
Yes. I know it better than anybody that is in this room. I have looked at these people, I have seen their profiles, I have eaten side by side with them, I have talked to them in the past 7-10 years. I have been all over their crowd, and I know what they can do and what they cannot do, and where they want the Democratic Party to be. So I would also want you to reflect on the fact that when I was going to stand against the Vice President, I was told this is somebody that has been in Parliament for 27 years. He has been a deputy speaker. He has been a speaker. He has been a speaker. He has been a Vice President. He has the SFC. He has the money. All these were said. And it was time for him to leave, and he left. With the SFC in the Italy Center, he had to go. I was declared. So I'm telling you, there's nothing like thinking that there is somebody that is so stronger than the will of the people. Article 1 of the Constitution is very clear. People will be governed by their own will, and in the way or in the method they want to be governed. So the will remains for the people to decide who is to govern them. And it is the people that will decide who will become President General 2025 in Imbarara on 30th.
Okay, let me come to you, Commissioner Bamwene, because you are in the NRM, the party that has been running the affairs of this country for quite some time. But I want to ask you a very personal question, because I know that you were here when the president came to power in 1996. Commissioner Bamwene, did you envisage that the same man in 1986, January 2026 to January 26, 40 years later, would still be president and running for the same office?
Yes and no.
What's the no about?
The no, I did not realize the kind of situation that would push to this level. Because that time, 1986, the questions of the day were, will I be alive up tomorrow? That was the question of the day. It was not about electricity, it was not about TV like NTV, it was not about school. Will I be alive up tomorrow? So over time, the questions of 1986 are no longer the questions of today. And as situations evolve and also the population increase, he has been able to move with the times. If I could just chip in here, as we speak now, President Museveni and NRM, they are saying we have done the roads, we have proved the power, others as government is doing. But what is remaining is what is called microeconomics. Does Kamara has money in his pocket? Does his family have, is it food secure? Because you may have a good road, you may have electricity passing in your area, but it may not be going into your house. Or you may have it in the house, but you don't have money in the pocket. So, I think, like for instance, this campaign that is coming now, the questions of the day will be, who has a better program of household income and job creation than NRM? Or if they have it, which is that one better than household income and job creation? So as long as he possesses that strategic thinking of managing to see far, of managing to be able to provide hope, there's no doubt why NRM cannot be 40 years. And
your own Inspector General of Government, appointed by the NRM government, by President Yoweri Museveni, had said this country, under your stewardship, is losing 10 trillion every year through corruption. And it was point number 7 in the 10-point program of President Yoweri Museveni of fighting corruption. Do you realize that the monster of corruption has actually failed you? And people are not going to get the money in their pockets like you so wish, because your own Inspector General of Government is saying we are losing 10 trillion.
But Kamara, I didn't know that you may disappoint me.
How? You want him to please?
Because, one, the position of Inspector General of Government is a creation of NRM. 2, one of the methods to fight corruption is to expose it. So one of the institutions of government established by NRM has exposed it. It's one way of fighting it. 4, I am very sure that you have been observant about how much government or the Inspector of Government has managed to collect out of pre-bargaining. And lastly, which other organization apart from government institutions which has been able to be brutal about itself and pinpoint that you people...
Commissioner Babuine, the issue is not really about exposing
it's one of the methods.
The issue is stopping the hemorrhage of public resources.
Yes.
You have failed to stop the hemorrhage.
Have you heard about something called name and shame? Isn't it a method of fighting corruption?
It's not working.
So, the institution you're talking about is government. The people exposing this is government. But also, the people that are being apprehended is by government. Maybe what I would wish to have heard from you, because at least I'm part of government, why is it not ending? If you ask me that question.
We have 2 Inspector General of Government who made very spectacular comments about the fight against corruption. I think one of them was Mulia Gonja, who said, Justice Mulia Gonja, that the fish is beginning to rot from the head. And Betty Kamya said, those who are stealing are hiding behind the president. So the fountain of honor you know, has been dishonored by the very people appointed to serve in government.
Mr. Kamara, 1985.
Oh no.
Would you say such a statement and you walk in Kampala Road?
What is that supposed to mean?
Would you say it? Because we are here.
We are not,
if you are not here,
we are not
you
there.
should be able to read it.
We are not there now.
Or ask.
Tell us, what was it?
There was no any person in the government who could, even outside the government, who could say anything about the government and you remain walking.
But corruption was not
So,
like this.
corruption, to be able to be exposed now, it's one of the huge achievements if you didn't know.
So let me tell you this.
That's why
because
it is-
Mr. Commissioner Bamwine, if you continue bringing the story of 1986 and before that.
You are the one who asked it.
No.
Yes.
I want to tell you this because you're
Yes.
making an emphasis.
Yes.
You're actually out of reality because the biggest percentage of the people who are going to be voting for you have no business you telling them 1996. They don't understand it. They don't belong there. It's not. That's your story. It's not their story.
But you are the one who asked
We
it.
don't even want to know.
If you asked that, when you ask that question,
I hope you
am
are
obliged
going to
answer it.
I hope you're going to win off yourself from the 1986 story because the current generation,
Yes.
Generation Z, have no idea.
Maybe you didn't-
You
maybe-
better change.
maybe you didn't-
because you will not be understood.
Maybe you didn't hear
whatsoever.
me. I told you that the position of NRM now is household income and job creation. Does it rally the youth or not? Yesterday,
How will it rally the youth?
yesterday NRM was voting. Yesterday but one. Did you see the momentum of the youth participation or you didn't see it?
Well, I saw chaos in Sironko. I saw chaos in
By the youth.
Sembabule.
By the youth.
I saw somebody disappearing
Yes.
with the register.
By the youth, saying this is ours.
Let me come to you.
2 days
Honorable
after elections. So to
Fungaro.
me, I wish I can conclude on corruption.
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't wish to be an anti-corruption crusader, and I don't propose what needs to be done to conclude it. The framers of the 1995 Constitution, there are things they did not envisage. They didn't expect, for instance, that we shall have a system whereby somebody can press a button and trillions disappear. So there are new methods of corruption that have come on the board, on the scene, which need also a reflection in amending the laws. For instance, if somebody can steal $1 trillion and the person to prosecute him is being paid maybe 600,000, and then somebody who has eaten a road, the next day goes to court and gets bail and walks away, what do you expect? We have all lived. When I look at you, you are almost.
You poor pay means what?
No. I'm trying to say, as
Should
long
you lose your integrity because you're
I'm trying to say,
Corruption is just
as long
amazing.
as we don't have harsh punishments to the wrongdoers, to the corrupt, corruption will remain. As long as we don't reform the legal regime, the procedure. Somebody has stolen the money today, and the case takes 10 years. We need to go back because we are not the first, we are not the first group to do this. These things we are talking about, others have done it. We need to go back to the boardroom and say, according to the kind and level of corruption we have now, what kind of registration or laws we need to have? What kind of punishments do we need to have to deter others not to participate?
Let me come to you, and gentlemen, I hope you're free to engage each other because at the end of the day, you're going to find each other in the field and you'll be contesting for power. Honorable Caps Fungaro, my brother, first of all, I want to congratulate you because you are the acting president of the Forum for Democratic Change. But I could also ask you, like I asked Richard, I don't know which FDC, because there's Katonga, there's Najana Nkombe. However, if Amuriat is given the flag to run for presidency in 2026, even if he increased by his chances by 100%, it wouldn't give him even 7% of the vote. That he performed so poorly, out of the 19 million registered voters, your presidential candidate only garnered 300,000. That's a shame.
First of all, thank you very much, Kamara, and the listeners who have tuned into this program. I salute all of you once again. I am Fungaro Caps Hassan, the acting president of the Forum for Democratic Change. As per our laws, our constitution of the party, when someone vies for a position while holding another position within the executive, it is required of that person to stand aside especially if that person is going to compete with another member of the party who may not derive some advantages from that position you're holding, you're supposed to stand.
So you're explaining how you became acting.
Yes, this is very important. It is important. It is going to be used again in this debate somewhere. Our Constitution of the Republic of Uganda provides for this kind of arrangements. Our practices are supposed to be like this. Only that NRM doesn't do it. When President Museveni goes for elections, when they go for, they don't
even DP.
They don't do it. They just hold the office, they move with it, and they misuse it against other contenders. So FDC is the party that is teaching, preaching, and practicing what it preaches. So I would like to thank, first of all, my party president for the trust he bestowed on me, that among many, he selected me to be the one to act in his absence. Now, FDC is an organization, a political party. In life, it is not a problem to fall down, but the problem is, do you get up when you fall down? Number two, it is not a problem to stumble, to stagger, but the problem is, do you get instability when you stagger, when you stumble? For the FDC never fell down. The FDC remained strong, but we stumbled, we staggered. All the challenges, beginning from the COVID-19, which hit the whole world and Uganda in particular and FDC, then to the bad electoral environment which affected us, the harassment of people, arrest and detention, etc. The results of the elections of 2021 are part of the outcome of the bad environment. So for me, what is very important is the fact that Uganda should see, FDC members should see that FDC is standing. We never fell down, we staggered, but we are stable now.
So let me
better
put the question this way, Honorable.
For the party and for
Hassan.
the people of Uganda, yes.
You're probably going to have either Nathan Nandala Mafabi or Engineer Patrick Amuriat as the flag bearer to run for presidential election 2026.
Yes.
But do you really think any one of those are in this race to win it, or you're just ticking a box?
You mean the rest of the national general elections, or this one?
Yes, in the general election as the presidential
definitely
to be the president of Uganda. Are your candidates really in it to win it, or they know they are in this race? They are joining the race for the presidency just to tick a box.
First of all, you look at the state of Uganda right now, the wishes of the people of Uganda. Ugandans need a new government. Ugandans need change. And we as FDC, we are telling Ugandans, we are here. If you need a government that will answer to the aspirations and expectations of the people of Uganda, your expectations, come to us, come to the FDC. That is the message number one. Number two, we have people who, if given opportunity to lead Uganda, they can run the country. First of all the candidates who have come up, have shown interest, and have been nominated are people who are tested in the field of leadership. There are people who are been in the politics of Uganda and they're educated sufficiently enough to run this country. If you look at Engineer Patrick Amuriat, he was a member of parliament. He was a person also who held committee chairperson positions, and then an engineer at that. One of the problems of Uganda is in the area of how roads are constructed badly, buildings fall. So this is a person technically qualified, professionally qualified, and he has the will and the zeal to lead. Now, what happened in terms of the outcome of the 2021 elections cannot be used to dismiss us. Even in the past, you saw how FDC won elections with our previous presidential election, where the candidate was not Engineer Patrick Amuriat, and we were not given the victory we were supposed to have. The issue was taken to court with Dr. Besige, first as our flag bearer and our president to be denied victory. And it was even ascertained by court, where people clearly said, you see there was rigging here. So FDC not going to State House cannot be attributed to the weakness of one person, say Engineer Moriat.
Engineer
Even
Richard,
with other candidates whom we had before, we did not go to State House, but we should look at the circumstances, the surroundings of the elections. The environment affects the outcomes of the election. So we should focus ourselves more to the situation within which elections are conducted, whether elections are free and fair, whether there is room for the press to express and convey the messages.
Okay.
So we should look at the situation rather than the individual.
Okay, Engineer Richard Sebamala, if you're lucky to get the flag of the Democratic Party and become the President General, if you're lucky to contest for the presidency, because that's what you seem to be super focused at, you know you'll be facing RDCs, you'll be facing DISOs, you'll be facing PISOs, you'll be facing military generals, you'll be facing the NRM juggernaut that has knows the game for the last 40 years. And many of you have said the ground is not leveled. Do you really think you're playing on a fair ground where you can actually compete and be declared winner?
I will tell you the truth. The ground is not leveled, and it has not been leveled for quite some time. So that is not something that we are going to cry about forever. You know, I am that person that I'm tired of hearing the ground is not leveled. The President Museveni is electing everyone, appointing everyone, the army is all over, everything. What other solutions do you have to this? Because we are supposed to be solution oriented. I'll tell you, if the ground is not, whatever happens in one constituency is what can be duplicated into the other constituencies in order to win all the other constituencies and then seek declaration. I guess that is the whole thing. Because what happens, as much as the factors that determine who wins a particular constituency with the other might be different, but they are more or less the same. So for me, I believe it is the Electoral Commission, it is the security, it is finally the declaration. And the dynamics of this particular gentleman are, he wouldn't be in power if those that want him in power did not disengage, have not disengaged. Because you should just agree that we have negotiated this power to 40 years.
In Bukoto Central, where you ran for MP against Vice President
allow me to take you through the 40 years. Just a bit of the 40 years. At the coming of the President President Museveni, let's look at the factors that were present. One, the Banyarwanda were all over. They needed to go back home. It was a force to use to get into power. The DP was annoyed. It needed somebody to support in order to take power. The Baganda had their Kabaka ready to take over, to come back and come back on his throne. Every part of Uganda had its particular problems that he negotiated for them to join the war such that he can win. He went ahead to negotiate the following. One, with Gaddafi to give him the arms and everything, such that he later gives him national housing, Uganda Telecom, Tropical Bank. Should I give him more negotiation? He negotiated with the Tanzanians to give him arms and people, where later he got 30% and gave this money back. Even today, look at what's going on in Uganda. If you looked at the oil, it is the Europeans that are there. It is the European Union that is in the oil. Look at the Entebbe Air Base. It is the Americans that are there, that are enjoying it for over how many years, looting all over the country and then bringing there, and then, we give them the paperwork. Look at what he has given the Chinese, all the infrastructure and everything. He has given World Bank all the loans and everything, and IMF and everything, and they're gaining from it. So he continues to negotiate this country in order to stay in power. That is the fact.
Okay,
so
hold on to your point.
Back to the
My producer is telling me we need to take a break. Hold on to your point. Because you have hit hard and I want to come back with Commissioner Bamwine, because you seem to suggest. I'll let you conclude. We are going to take a break. I'll let you conclude, because you seem to suggest that the president is mortgaging Uganda. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amara. My guest tonight, I have Honorable Fungaro Kaps Hassan, Acting President of the Forum for Democratic Change. I also have Commissioner Fred Bamwine from the Office of the President, and I have also the Honorable Engineer Richard Sevamala, who's Member of Parliament for Bukoto Central. If you can conclude, and then Bamwine would respond.
Before you move to Mr. Bamwine, I was saying that the dynamics of negotiations that take over power are what is below the belt for what the current political parties are doing. We know the dynamics. Everyone knows that this government is in power, and everybody has seen its strength. But now nobody is touching its core of who gives it this power and why does it stay. When the president was fighting the 1986 war, and before that he was using Ngarama to go to Tanzania, you understand, to train the people there. When he came into power, under East African Community, he put what they call strategic security, where there is Tontabara, Sikutabara. You don't come to my place, I don't go to your place. You stay in your area, we generally protect each other. The people that refused this was Southern Sudan, was Sudan then, where he hit hard and created Southern Sudan that agreed to it. So when you look at what is happening in that is Eastern Congo, anytime from now we might get a country that is comprised of Eastern Kivu, I think Southern Kivu and Northern Kivu.
I know.
You understand?
You are aspiring.
Anytime from now.
You are aspiring to be a national leader.
No, so that's why I'm saying.
I suggest you leave some of these statements you're making.
But this is this is under strategic security. God read the East African Community core values and core principles and this document. You'll get to see what I'm talking about. The problem is people not being informed. So whatever we are doing today is, if you're supposed to take over power from this particular government, you need an external force, because you cannot take over power internally. If you're supposed to take over power internally, and the people are supposed to give you power, then you're supposed to know that these people are more greedy for power. So you should be more greedy for it than they are greedy for it, for you to take it from them. So these are things that are supposed to be done. They're not going to be done tomorrow. They needed power in 1980. They didn't take it. They did whatever they can to kill almost 800,000 people in order to come to power. So let they not believe that somebody can do the same. Let us not believe that if this country is governed where somebody accepts that they are taking 10 trillion, when my sons, my grandkids, my friends are fetching water from what would I call? Competing with animals. They are competing with animals. When people do not have power after 40 years in the villages, when you can have a budget, their manifesto was only implemented 33%. For these 5 years, and they give issues, COVID, they come up with particular issues that are why they have not, implemented the manifesto and the 5-year development plan. So they always have questions here and there. So the time is now for change. The time is now.
All right, Commissioner Bamwine, he's saying so many things and probably has even hit hard. I suppose you want to respond.
Mr. Kamara,
let him talk about his manifesto for 2026.
I really sympathize with the viewers and the voters, because just 2 days after NRM party structure elections, as we speak today, NRM claims 2.2 million leaders as of today, from the other day. Now, this is a campaign season.
That's leadership structure.
Now, assuming, because you cannot come from the vacuum, these leaders, 2.2 million, one brings 4 supporters of his or hers. That means that is 8.8 million. And I can tell you whoever is going to win presidential elections will not get more than 10 million votes. So, if already an estimation of 8.8 is in the bag, What are you talking about?
Let me get back to you before I come to because he makes a very valid point. At least the 2-point-something million leaders will at least cast a vote for NRM. That's given. And then they can at least influence 2 or 3 more people.
I will also tell you that. I will also tell you that when you look at the village structures of the Democratic Party, we have 20 people at the grassroots. So we assume that by the end of our village elections, we shall have around 1.5 million people. And by just one getting 7 people or 5 people, we shall be at the same number. Let's not speculate. Let's go to facts.
This is not speculation.
This is what we are looking at. This is what we are looking at. Let's do practical things. Let's not speculate. Let's not debate in anticipation.
It's not about
let's say when in the last elections,
we have leaders who were elected yesterday but won.
And we have leaders that were elected last year.
Okay.
Now,
okay, let me come to you, Caps. Let's go to Caps. Hassan Caps.
First of all, the elections of yesterday, the party structure elections of NRM were confused with the LEC1 elections, where the elected party flag bearer for the NRM candidates.
These are party structure.
Yes.
Party structure. There are 2 elections.
But also flag bearers.
Primary elections.
Yes.
Actually, they call them LC elections. They did not say them NRM LC.
No.
But now,
they said LC elections.
Comrade Fungaro, just this one.
Let's have
just information before you.
Hassan Caps conclude. You will respond.
You will get here. What he doesn't know is this: that the message which went to the villagers, to the people, was that this was LC1 election. Given the fact that NRM avoided the LC1 elections throughout the past 5 years, these 5 years, women council elections, LC1 elections never took place. People thought that this is the only election. If we don't take part in this, we shall not be in charge of our village. Let us go there. The people who you have taken on your register as your leaders are not your people.
No,
you wait and see. In politics, there is what is called information.
Very quickly.
No. The information I want to give.
So
the information I want to give.
These people you are counting as yours,
Mr.
One at a time.
The information I want to give you.
Because you confuse the people there.
The information I want to give you. There's nobody who voted.
Together with
that was not in the register. In fact, the biggest cry was because people thought, Bamwine, who doesn't know Bamwine is NRM? So they didn't register. Yesterday they came to vote, and they didn't find themselves on the register. That they said no, even if as long as you're not on the register, you're not going to vote. But we are saying those who were on the register and voted, they have voted 2.2 million people.
But do you think
now these are leaders?
No.
Elections are 4 months ahead. Or 5. The nomination is October for president.
Now
I can assure you.
Let me tell you.
This
information I've taken your information.
Yes. But it's me who was speaking.
Oh no, you wanted the information. I've given you the ground. I was speaking. You wanted information. You have informed me that these are people who are on the register. But do you think Ugandans are stupid? Do you think Ugandans have never learned from you? You are tricks of how to manage. So people entered your register long time ago. You wait for the bullet.
But let me refresh this because I've talked about it before.
The people who have been elected as NRM leaders.
You will probably have a presidential candidate again in Engineer Patrick Amuriat, a man who only managed to score 3.2% of the vote. So 300,000 votes. In a register of over 19 million. Even if he increased his chances by 100%, and by the way, to increase 100% is a monumental task. Even if he increased by 100%, that can only be 7%.
It was better than 57%.
To win it.
Now you say
it was better than 57,000
to win it. Fine. You have a problem in your view. You have a problem with the person called Engineer Patrick Amureto Boy, and then you attached the result to him. But you also are aware that in the past we had people, we were robbed, and you are aware about the fact that now Engineer Patrick Amuriat is in a primary election where FDC has a possibility of getting maybe another person. What are you going to say if FDC gets a person
Well, those were votes of FDC.
I mean, no. But
those were votes of FDC with Amuriat. In fact, a bigger FDC. A bigger FDC.
You had
now you have a tattered FDC.
No. I can tell you, my
Katonga brother. And Najana Nkumbi.
Let me tell you,
that does not make you strong.
There is only one FDC. We are in a state with functional laws. For you to be called an organization, even a business company, you must be registered. Where the organization, the institutions which register you, and you are given an address. So the address called FDC in the books of Uganda is only at Najana Nkumbi. There are no many FDC.
Okay.
All right. Now,
let me come. Okay, legally you are.
Yes.
But yeah, politically you are tattered.
No, I want to answer
you hold the legal name of FDC.
And the earlier you
let me clarify this point here. And you are talking about South Sudan as a republic today. The South Sudanese started fighting long time ago, not today. Under the SPLA struggle, which started in 1983, there were scatters. Some people even defected. They went to the side of the government, but some remained. Those who defected came back. The people of South Sudan completed the struggle. Can I ask a question? First, listen. They completed the struggle and South Sudan got independence. In spite of the fact that there were defections, in spite of the fact that there were people who betrayed the cause. But today, we have a country there which is solving a new problem. That's progress. So for us,
with all respect, with all respect, Ugandan sons and daughters died for South Sudan.
You see, Uganda.
I was in Imatong Mountain behind the enemy lines. I know that Ugandans died in that fight. You
don't know South Sudan more than me. Because for
I
me,
wouldn't pretend to know that.
No. For me, I have my blood also partly in the other side.
I agree.
You are
from Obongi, for example.
So for me, I know the story. Now you go to South Africa. When the South Africans struggled for their appetite, for how many years did they struggle? Almost 100 years, more than 100 years. It was not Nelson Mandela who started the struggle.
So where is the ANC now?
But Nelson Mandela picked up from other leaders. And they concluded. So FDC is the way to go. FDC is the future of Uganda. And for us, me particularly, as somebody coming from the
gentlemen, you really seem to be praying for the gallery. I'm sorry to say this because Richard,
we are looking for change.
The NRM
and we are confident that we are going to get it this time.
Has a register of 19 point something million voters in the yellow book, almost equal, if not bigger, than the National Register of the Independent Electoral Commission. If their supporters who are in the yellow book, in 19 million plus, came today, it's a game changer, Richard.
And I'm listening.
If they came and voted, 19 million supporters in the yellow book, almost as the same number of the Electoral Commission register.
I will give you this. In Kawempe, the last elections, when we are looking at the NRM register, it had 240,000 voters. And the voters of Kawempe were 190. And at the end of the election, only around 60,000. Is it 6,000? Or 6,000 voters stand up. So we can no longer depend on the numbers of the NRM. We can also no longer depend on the numbers of UBOS. I can tell you how they zigzagged in the recent, the reason when they were counting the people, so the villages and everything. So we leave this government is dead and afloat. We are just managing situations. When we come to parliament, we say we have debt. What debt do we have? We have to pay off a particular debt at a particular time, so we need this money real bad. Then they start. I'll give you another instance. Look at this road that is being constructed, Masaka Mutukula. You know it is being constructed by Chico. Chico contracted it to work on it for 3 years or 4, and then it will be paid after 4 years. Its payment is going to start after 4 years. So now what we are doing today is we get a company, bring it here, it works on a bridge, then you're very sure this government has worked on a bridge, yet in the actual sense it is using its money and it will be paid. It is actually advancing Uganda money and it will be paid after 4 years. So whichever president, these are the actual problems that I'm going to inherit. Debt, public debt. You go to parliament, contractors and suppliers are demanding this government 11 trillion.
So
11 trillion, and these debts have gone on from 2022 when we entered parliament. We told these people, please pay these people. Businesses are collapsing. People are dying. People's equipment, people's properties are being taken. And and today we are in 2024, 2025, and people have not been paid. I remember telling you in Parliament recently that we had a debt of 1.2 trillion that was accruing 314 million per day. And recently they just paid 400 billion off that debt. Only 400 billion off that debt. But you are still boasts of collecting 100% and 100 plus. So this is a collapsing government. Whoever does not see it now will see it later. Okay. The only reason it is in power is because the people that we are dealing with, the grassroots, are not informed enough of what's going on. Today, as we are into the budgeting process and the budgeting procedures, we are going to come and read budget. We are busy looking at Eddie Mutwe was tortured and everything. That is what is on the media. But then we are forgetting that they are actually making a budget and allocating funds to things that do not even need money today. And those that need money are underfunded and prioritized.
You have brought in the subject of Eddie Mutwe, which you may think is peripheral, but a serious human rights abuse.
Human rights abuse is not the only factor that this government needs to solve.
And Commissioner Bamwine, I would want to take you on that what Richard has just talked about. The Human Rights Commissioner has condemned the arrest of that young man. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs has condemned the arrest and torture of Mr. Eddie Mutwe. The public court has condemned. Why would somebody be treated in such an inhuman, degrading manner, yet you can just pick him, take him to court, open a case, and if he loses the case, send him to Luzira? Why use the underhand methods that remind us of the yesteryears, of tumultuous times of the 70s?
Mr. Kamara,
first of all,
I think the challenge that I'm likely to have, I thought you brought Ugandans to analyze situations for Ugandans.
Yes.
But now, this is a presidential candidate, as far as I have heard, for
Aspirant
DP.
At the moment.
For DP. This one is the acting president for FDC. I don't know you now.
You are sandwiched between potential presidents.
Yeah, I came with this. I came with this bag, deliberately. Who is for Uganda?
All of us. We are citizens.
Have heard?
We are citizens.
Because if you
we are citizens and you are crying out that your government is mistreating everyone.
One at a time. It is Commissioner Bamwine who is
It's just diversifying.
If you can
diverting away.
Yes, if you can deny, you can fail. You see.
So this bag makes you Uganda?
No.
Yes.
This one is it's a symbolism.
Commissioner, you're better than that.
It's a symbolism because the challenge we have had as a country,
the flag
people believe in their parties.
Let me answer you.
People believe in their parties.
This is the flag of
now, as they believe in their parties, they forget the big picture. What is the big picture?
Dates.
As we speak today, whether you like it or not, campaigns are going to be there, but children must go to school.
1.2 trillion.
Whether you want to believe or not, roads must be made. Whether you want to believe,
why are you avoiding
there must be employment. Whether you want to believe, whether you want to
violation,
whether you want to believe it or not, I can tell you, because you had not concluded that you are fidgeting.
No.
I told you that the NRM voted yesterday but one. They have 2.2 million leaders.
This one is
now
finished.
When they mention 2.2 million leaders,
human rights
they have mentioned
abuses,
2.2 leaders,
torture,
and for you don't want to admit your problems.
No.
If you can claim that, for instance, Lesije, that for instance, Rukwago, Uganda, they are inconsequential in FDC, then you don't have any business.
Don't even bring in basic
equal as this gentleman is going to Mbarala.
I don't know how you have actually digressed to a question.
Yes, no. They are the ones who raised it. So I cannot leave it there. They are the ones who raised it. And you invited me. I cannot leave the public without knowing where we're going. And I'm trying to say, the questions of the day now is people's
We are
welfare.
sinking in debt.
You can hear.
That's the truth.
Maybe I don't know which economics you read.
We are sinking in debt.
But I can tell you there is no country in the world which has no debt, including the United States of America.
So you get debt in advance.
And for you,
that's why you're being advanced.
And for you,
many.
You shouldn't be even talking because you're a member of parliament. There is
no told you
there is no law that is passed without you members of
I'm
parliament.
an opposition member of parliament that has told you not to pass this because we don't see it. Where is the invite?
Then why are you there?
Where is it?
Where are you there?
Because we have corrected you and you have
Mr.
refused
Kamara,
you for 100. We are 100.
Who sit in parliament?
Yes.
We pay them.
Yes.
To manage
we
this
are
country.
100. You're 400.
And at the end of the day,
you don't follow what we tell you.
There's something Dr. Matembe called the tyrant of numbers.
Yes, and he knows it.
Democracy.
And he's using
But that's
and he knows.
But also that's
so you blame the NRM members of parliament for passing the laws.
Do you remember the Computer Misuse Act? Then Sireko Bureau. Sireko is one candidate, is a one person. He's an independent. Do you remember the Anti-Homosexual Act? Pasarigwa is just one. So these claims that because the other amendments are not true.
You take them to caucus,
you
bring them back.
Bring your own, and you fail, and it is failed.
So the NRM members of parliament are failing their own country.
So you cannot claim the issue of numbers.
Okay.
When we have an example of two opposition members.
Caps Hassan, Honorable Caps Hassan.
Okay. The question which my brother Bamwini has run away from is a very serious issue.
One at a time, gentlemen.
President to be. This is a very serious issue which need to be looked at in silence. By the way, my brother Bamwini, those of us who are from the side of the opposition like Eddie Mutwe, we may appear like the target or the people who are susceptible to torture and to dying in this way. You may be the one to die first before us. Because we have seen people who have fallen victims of the same brutality of the NRM regime against the opposition or against democratic processes. First, before we elaborate more, we must condemn the arrest, detention, torture, and human rights abuses of Ugandans by the security forces. I served as the Shadow Minister of Defense and Security when I was in the parliament. I have the records of how the army is misused to advance political interests of the regime in power. And now I would like to say, number one, you brothers and sisters who are in uniform, you must know that what you are doing is immoral, is unethical,
unpatriotic.
It is unpatriotic. We cannot say it is going to continue like that forever and ever. We stand with all the people of Uganda who are behind bars now, who have been arrested and detained and in prison, including my brother Asega.
For their political thinking, for their political...
Yes, for their political thinking.
Prisoners of conscience.
Yes, you see, they are allowed by this constitution of the Republic of Uganda to express themselves, to organize themselves under a multi-party
and to be governed by their will. We should read Article 1.
So why should they be tortured like this?
Let me read Article 1.
In showing how Uganda...
Allow me read Article 1 for
Commissioner Bamwine, he came with the bag, you came with the Constitution.
Okay, I came with the Constitution.
Allow me read...
So, as you read this, I want to say that...
and this is for the information of
my brother,
in Uganda.
just a minute, my brother, among those who have been tortured, there is Asega from Arua. He's a member of NUP also. And there is also Dr. Besije, and there is Haj Kamlegaya, and there are others who have not been accounted for. All the people from the side of the opposition who have been tortured, we should stand with them. I would like to take for the record the good letter which was written and published by the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs to the effect of analyzing the immorality, the unethical and the illegality of those actions, and we say thank you, Mr. President, Honorable Mao, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. It is now incumbent upon us, Ugandans, to ask ourselves,
how does a cabinet minister write to his own cabinet? He still continues serving the same cabinet that is torturing people he's talking about.
Yes. He just he's continuing to be a president of another opposition party.
Okay, first of all, that's another matter. We needed a statement from him. At least one thing he has done good is not to deny, not to accept, not to condone the brutality. So that brutality must be condemned. As for us as FDC, we stand for the truth, we stand for fairness, we stand for justice. No matter how long it takes. All those people who have been punishing and brutalizing people will be brought to answer this suffering of Ugandans. These soldiers who are misusing the resources, the uniform, will be made to answer.
Okay.
Read the article.
I would want to tell the Ugandans, you might lose out on knowing anything. At least you might not know this whole constitution, but take note of these four. 1, all power belongs to the people, who shall exercise their sovereignty in accordance with this constitution. 2, without limiting the effect of clause 1 of this article, all authority of the state emanates from the people of Uganda, and the people shall be governed through their will and consent. 3, all power, authority of government and its organs derive from this constitution, which in turn derives its authority from the people who consent to be governed in accordance with this constitution. 4, the people shall express their will and consent on who shall govern them and how they shall be governed, through regular, free and fair elections of their respective representatives.
Commissioner Babu is telling you that, doing exactly that.
So this is the whole constitution. At will. We are supposed to be governed at will. Yes. You're supposed to support whoever you want, and you're not supposed to be picked and imprisoned and beaten and done everything because of your will.
Taught another language.
More so, I end by saying this.
And then you're told to Runyankole.
This teaching me Runyankole by force. The Runyankole people need to call Mhozi for cleansing. This statement is making recklessly. We will one day count against the people of Ankole. And yet the people of Ankole are also suffering. They are crying there. Some of them, when I was there in Western Uganda for 8 days doing a post-election performance evaluation, I got testimonies from people in Kazo, Ruampara, Kiruhura, Mbarara, that for us, even in the north, we are better than them. For them, they don't vote.
They don't even vote
for
presidency.
You see, you go to the polling station, reaching there at 11, they say, we have finished, it is over.
You just vote for members of parliament.
So rigging, if people of Western Uganda don't stand up to correct this image which is being pictured about them, it's bad.
Gentlemen, hold on to your points, gentlemen, because you're going to take a break.
They are being
on the
tortured.
spot, we'll be right back. I'll open the lines so that you too, who is watching this program from wherever you are, so that you can also have your say. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amar. My guest this evening, I have Honorable Hassan Fungaro Caps, who's the acting president of the Forum for Democratic Change. I have Commissioner Fred Babwine from the Office of the President. I also have the Honorable Engineer Richard Sebamala, Member of Parliament for Bukoto Central, who's vying for the top leadership of the Democratic Party. And we're discussing the road to 2026 general election. You know, that exercise of the NRM election structures and how it went, and considering the eagerness and the energy that leaders in the highest position showed to get involved, and when he's talking about 2 million leaders who were elected plus, really, what a good start for them. And if you want to contest against them, you are going against like an election machine, a juggernaut that is hard to.
There is one thing that we won't deny. There's one thing, a government in power or an incumbent government still has a lot of machinery to juggle around in order to win an election. That one we should not deny. But it is incumbent upon the opposition or anyone that is standing against that government to find ways of how to engage or disengage the different, machines that it is using. I will tell you one thing. You can have an army with a lot of equipment and everything, but they can wake up the next day with diarrhea, all of them, all COVID. In that way, they will have the machines, they'll have everything, but they will not be capable of using the machines. So, what I'm trying to tell you is you should have a way of engaging this particular machinery. You're saying they have 2 million voters? Like I told you,
elected structural leaders.
Yeah, and I told them we have 1.5 million elected leaders. Because everyone is just imagining. As of today, we just know that there was an election in NRM and there was an election in DP for structures. Still today, we are, compiling districts. And that is why it is, because it is the districts that will vote actually the district chairman, woman, representative and youth, plus 2 representatives from the constituency, around 1,400, 500 people will be the ones in Mbarara to vote for presidents, and they come from the villages. You understand? So we are all thinking, okay, they have this, we are doing this. But let us go factual. What do the Ugandans need to see in this election 2026? What do they want to see? They want to see change. 80% want to see a different face of president. That is a fact, undeniable. This man is 85, he has been around for some time, he has been with us for 40 years, pending the other years around 20 or around 15 or 20 that he was in other governments. We are saying, yes, you can be a good advisor to the next president. And we are not shy about it. And we are not saying that he's not good. We are saying, okay, this is how good you've been. Can somebody else take us from here, and then the development of the country goes faster? If we talked about poverty eradication as the next and employment, the factors he has been talking about today as their bait for 2026, are those factors that really need President Museveni getting out of poverty? Even Fungaro, sincerely, you don't know how to take people out of poverty. You don't know how to come up with programs. You should come up, if you're supposed to come up with a program like Emyoga.
I see and understand the energy you have as an individual leader in Bukoto Central as a Democratic Party. But honestly, when you shed a light into the Democratic Party, it has fallen into pieces. And
I don't disagree with you.
And actually, people are running from your party to join NRM,
and that
to
is
join NUP.
You're saying
give you the names. I can also come back to NUP and show them they are running away.
Let me tell you,
being together, Mpuga is fighting Bobby Wine, is fighting Joyce Bagala, is fighting Sawanyan.
What I'm telling is the truth. So what you're saying is the truth. But what has led to this, the factors that have led to this are the factors that we're supposed to treat. One is leadership of the Democratic Party. So let's treat the problem of leadership of the Democratic Party first. We'll go to the delegates conference, change leadership. That is the first problem.
So your biggest challenge is to make put your house in order before you even aspire.
Everyone has to put their house in order. Every party has its internal problems. Every party. That's why when you saw when the PLU came up, it was against the NRM. But as of today, all of them PLU are back to NRM. So every party has its internal problems. What we are saying, let's go to Mbarara, get new leadership. Let's go back, build the ground structures. After building the ground structures, let's look for power. Not these cheap positions that I am an MP, but let's go on and look for power. Let's go on and fetch power. So that's the whole point from Mbarara to power. So the 27 or the people that led that are in government today for 40 years were in the same position that we are today. They dreamt and had a vision and wanted to go into power. They were in the different governments before. Some of them were doctors like Dr. Besige, some of them were lawyers, some of them had funders out there. Today we have had testimonies that Rocco is being given money today in Parliament, but the father to this particular son that is taking over Rocco gave the president $200,000 sometime in Switzerland during the 1980s, during the war. We didn't have that information. That is why I'm telling you, there are people out there that are ready to fund change in Uganda. There are people out there that are ready to stand with change in Uganda. And we are saying it should not be, you know, a walkover for the NRM every single election. We are planning ahead of what they think that we are no longer the people they planned with in 2021.
Okay, so, Commissioner Mabwine, your party that is in power has a poor human rights record.
One, when we are talking about these issues, there are a million of Ugandans watching us. And we are not the most highly educated or qualified, but we are giving our views and others can judge. Just now, Mr. Sewamala has admitted the fractures within DP,
yes,
which are very real.
Yes. It's not bad to admit.
Mr. Fungaro has denied and said FDC is one. But me and you, we know there is FDC based in Katonga.
No, there's no FDC there.
Actually, FDC has produced Katonga, has produced Ant, has produced Bet Kamia's team. All those came from FDC. And as far as I'm concerned as a strategic analyst, that is not a sign of strength. The area you admit your weaknesses and start addressing them, the better for this country.
But that's what we have done.
But they could also say that the NRM produce FDC, produce anti-produce.
It may. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If when yesterday they were going back, they had to test how relevant are we still. That's why if you're observant, the leadership of NRM for the last 5 years, they are addressing concerns of society. Education, health, household income, job creation.
Go to Mulago.
Now, both of them have said the majority of Ugandans are yearning for change. How do you measure that the majority of Ugandans are yearning for change? The only way generally accepted means of knowing that a political party or a person is no longer interested is through an election. I remember the last election, the leadership of NRM, they got 6.5 million and the runners-up got 3. Now we are going for another round of election. So this estimation or perception is not, it does not have empirical evidence. So we are going to nominate the president in October, and we are voting in January. Then when you invite us here, we shall tell. But I'm trying to show you that the indicators that actually the percentage this time is going to be higher. If we have 2.2 million leaders, the least you can score in an election is 10 million. And I'm very sure, that whoever is going to win cannot go beyond 12 million. It will be below 12 million or 12 million. Okay. And you'll still invite us and we assess. Now, lastly, Mkuru, this Honorable Sewamala said he does not believe in UBOS records. And he's a member of parliament. And to me, I find that one
against them in parliament.
I find that one very,
we are petitioned against them in parliament.
Because once you are a leader, there are certain things you must rein on. Because a member of parliament, Article 79.
Don't debate that shallow.
Article 79.
Don't debate that
the Constitution empowers you as parliament. Make laws good for the governance of this country, bring peace and order and good governance. And you are saying Ubos is not okay.
Kamara.
What have you done as a member of parliament whom we pay monthly?
All right, Richard.
Kamara.
Okay,
Richard Kamara, I think this is when I usually tell people to really, really stop debating social. The issues to do with Ubos were all over the media. The issues to do with the numbers that were messed up were all over,
so,
even with this own station, NTV. And I'm sure my fellow colleague actually read this information. He's aware of what's going on.
You can't just call. Okay, hold. Somebody has been online holding for quite some time.
Sorry.
I'm sorry I kept you waiting, but what's your name and where are you calling from, sir?
This is Mr. Ken calling from Lira.
Okay, go right ahead, sir, from Lira.
I thank you, Mr. Kamara, for bringing for us the guest.
You're welcome.
Ken.
So now the problem we are having in Uganda today is that the NRM is disconnected from the truth. Because when you speak about human rights violations, they keep on denying. Yet it would be better if they would come on TV like that. They tell us, you know, we are sorry, this is stopping, and we are going to take action. Such people who are doing this and this.
All right.
Because the truth, you may deny, but the truth is people are being mistreated, people are being kidnapped.
All right. I want to
thank you.
Our caller there from Lira. Thank you so much. You have made your point, and your point is taken. I think I'm trying to take another caller, and then I can have 2 or 3, and my guest will respond. I have a caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Amfaibo from Juba here, South Africa.
You're calling from Juba?
Juba, South capital.
Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm from Juba, South Sudan.
Okay, Juba in South Sudan. Okay, go right ahead, sir, with your comment or question.
Well, if you look about those movements, they are justifying that. It's the point of justice you have been talking about, point of justice in Uganda there, with the issue of Eddie Motwe and those members who have been arrested every day and night. And that movement man said that there is justice. Which kind of justice talking about? Second, the election we are organizing in Uganda, is it free and fair to talk about that there are going to be an increase more than 80%? What exactly? Which fair election is he talking about? When the last election in 2021, they removed the internet, they removed everything, even the chairman of the Electoral Commission, they told him, where do you get the result? I'm getting the result from elsewhere.
All right.
That you know about the presenter. Is it that the way how the movement is talking about?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our brother from South Sudan, for calling from the South Sudan capital, Juba. There's a biblical analogy. Somebody was able to see a speck in the eye of a brother, but could not see a log in his own. But I really, with all respect, I'm just saying to say we are East African nations. You having baby steps in the democracy, even South Sudan, where you are in Juba, is not any better. But we would want all of us to be better because we deserve better. I have another call online. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I was speaking to areas from Chenjojo.
Areas from my hometown of Chenjojo. Go right ahead, sir.
Yes. I want to advise these Eddie Mutwe who are in struggle, and they think in struggle they are going to just have a good time as they think. And you know, these are people who are calling their principal a president, and we know our elected president is President Museveni.
Okay.
Actually, you yourself as a presenter, you cannot even allow those people you have in the studio to mention any other TV in the country, meaning you love your country and you feel jealousy to someone to mention
Eddie,
Eddie,
the issue here, Eddie, my brother, the issue is that if Eddie Mutwe has committed a crime, we are saying we're not saying he's innocent. Follow the law. That's all we're saying. Follow. Eddie. All we're asking, follow the law. Let the man answer for his crimes in the courts of law.
Not torture.
Of course, you have to answer. He has to answer, and we are going to see him answering his question. But I am saying these are people who have a parade, who had a parade recently. We saw a parade of foot soldiers in the country of Uganda, where there is a president and the governing system.
Eddie, I want to agree. Eddie, I want to agree with you that you saw something that you don't agree with, and that maybe you find it wrong. And we're always saying, take them to court. Let them go through the court system, and if they have committed a crime, let them be punished according to the law.
Yes.
That's all.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. As for us, we would like to say as FDC that Ugandans are waking up every day and getting convinced that this government needs to be removed from office.
Yesterday. Through the ballot.
And we are waiting.
I hope you are meaning
best means possible.
Yes,
the ballot.
Through the ballot, that's why we organize.
Not the bullet.
The best means possible.
We are waiting for the statement which is going to come from the army and the police.
The other day they whipped policemen.
We need, you see the army attacking even and beating policemen in their barracks. We would like to thank the people and the soldiers of Somalia.
Some of them were in they were called.
A good thing came from Somalia when an attempt was made by the sitting president then to amend the constitution so that they would have, like ours, removing the term limits, removing the age limits, removing all the limits from the constitution. But the army of Somalia said, no, Mr. President, our president finished your term of office
And leave.
and leave. Let us have free and fair elections. Don't take us back to the state of chaos. That statement alone from the armed forces of Somalia need to be acknowledged, and Somalia need to be thanked for. The bold action and the bold statement of the armed forces of Somalia, even without firing a bullet, encouraged the Prime Minister of Somalia to work with the President, to tell the President that Your Excellency, serve your term of office, go. Don't take our country back. We need to see a statement from the army to tell President Museveni that Your Excellency, you are doing wrong. We need a statement from the police to tell the Inspector General of Police and all those who are ordering people around that you are doing wrong. When they do that, it doesn't mean they are anti-law, they are anti the people of Uganda. How can you fail to see all these wrongdoings, the tortures, the killings, the rigging of elections, like what happened in Kawempe recently?
Yeah.
We had the UPDF, we had the JAT, Special Forces Command, we had all these people dressed in like terrorists themselves, or people who are going for anti-terrorism operation, when people are going for any election. And there's nobody from the army to come and say, you are doing wrong, and later on they start denying that.
Okay, our time is almost out
so
now.
For me, our position as FDC is, trust us.
Okay, I'm going to take only 2 more callers, and I'm going to ask you to be civil. Even if you disagree with the panelists, which is okay, that's the nature of debate, but remember to disagree with respect. I have a call.
Yes,
hello.
Yes, Mr. President, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening, this is Henry from Coinbase.
Henry.
Yes, now thank you for bringing those honorable colleagues. One of the things I would like to discuss is the issue of elections. One, we're very aware that our opposition is very good in Kampala and the town areas. But remember, right from the starting case, village people are very many. But these people believe in Museveni. We must accept. We don't despise the opposition, but they have to put more effort in village areas. Museveni leaves the town areas, he doesn't count the Watisa and so on because there is enough population in the villages. But these are honorable civil engineer must know and must inform his colleagues and friends. They must also emphasize their campaigns in villages. In case they don't do that, it will be very hard for opposition to take on power. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your submission, and probably I can take just one more, and then I'll be asking my colleagues here to make their concluding remarks. I have another caller online. Hello. Hello. Okay, looks like we're having a technical issue there.
I will just tell my brother.
Yes.
That.
Okay, he's online. Hello.
Hello.
What's your name and where are you calling from, sir?
George calling from Moyo.
George in Moyo.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm enjoying the panelists in their discussion.
Thank you, George.
Yeah. Now, for me, I see that whereas our colleagues from like Hassan Tungaro and the DP colleague, they are quoting from the Constitution. Our partner from the NRM is never quoting from the Constitution. It seems like the Constitution looks like their Constitution is either the GA or it's the UPDF. So when we talk of constitutionalism, they are the ones preaching constitutionalism, and that's how Uganda will get light at the end of tunnel and be managed the issues of all torture and everything.
Thank you, George, calling in from Moyo. Thank you very much. Yeah, but let me begin like this as you make your concluding remarks. Yes.
Are we responding to them? Actually,
you can because you didn't have a direct question. I want you to give us your concluding remarks.
Okay. My concluding remarks are this. First of all, this one is directed more to the people of the Forum for Democratic Change that have confidence in your party. If this has gained stability, we are finishing the process of the internal primaries where we are going to move with the candidates throughout the country, and those who are interested in taking positions of the different electoral areas, members of parliament, district councillors, chairpersons, mayors, etc., the doors are open, the electoral commission is working. We shall be organizing meetings to receive and train candidates who have expressed interest. So our party is back on track. Trust on us. And I would like also to appeal for decorum, respect for one another during these primary elections at the presidential level and even going down to the other levels, parliamentary, LC5, etc. Where there is any internal contest between members and leaders of the party, we should respect one another. We should make sure that the elections are peaceful. It should not be like these ones of the NRM, where people are beaten, gunshots come here, in and out. We have a cause. We are for a struggle. So let us respect one another. In my capacity now, as the acting president, I promote
of
harmony.
FDC.
Yes, of FDC. Yes, and what did you want to say of Uganda?
You can aspire for the same. You have a right to run for office in this country.
Yes. So as acting president of the FDC, I am here to promote harmony, reconciliation, togetherness, concerted efforts, and resilience. The cutting word is what? Resilience.
Right. Thank you very much, Hassan Kaps.
I thank you very much for this opportunity. I will be coming to visit you in your regions across the country. My office will be open at Najana Kumbi. Our staff are available. The secretariat is working. FDC is alive.
Thank you very much, Hassan Kaps. Commissioner Bamwine.
One, somebody has said NRM is disconnected from the grassroots.
From reality.
And he may be right. But you need to be calm. This is the time for campaign. And at the end of the day, next year, January, we shall assess by the results whether NRM is disconnected or not. Because all the government projects, the latest being PDM, I think we have never had any project which is as near to the people as PDM. And as we speak, the president is touring the whole country to assess the performance of PDM and other programs. Now, Comrade Caps has mentioned something. I don't know whether he was alive to it or not, inviting the army
To make a statement.
and the police to make a political statement. You remember, Uganda has not started today. At some stage in our history, the army has ever spoken. And their language in Uganda, nobody liked it. And I want to,
If it's what it needs,
I want to request
what
you,
need,
But they are in the parliament.
If you're
represented,
interested-
they can use the parliament.
if it's what
If you-
they need,
if you are in
then they will get it.
if you're interested in this country,
Even in parliament, we are not chosen to go.
you could advise them to remain on their professional job of protecting this country, but not to invite them to make a political statement.
All right.
The way they the day they make it, you may go under the bed.
All
Now,
right, thank you so much.
lastly, I know every political party is trying to strategize to go for elections. My appeal to all of you, yes, you have your party, NRM, FDC, DP, MNUP, but kindly, whatever you do realize that it has a greater impact on Uganda. Therefore, try as much as possible to restrain yourselves, not to break the law, not to incite people, not to cause unnecessary mayhem, even internally. Because at the end of the day, when your parties internally are with a lot of cracks, it brings a lot of tension at the center. But if we had political parties which are united and focused for political leadership, we'd be happy.
All right.
But unfortunately, as we speak today, every party, I think, has 2, 3, 4 factions, and then they say after finishing the faction, that's when they will come for elections.
All right, thank you, Commissioner.
I don't think
Bamwine.
that you will measure
Let me
it.
go to you, Engineer Richard Sevama.
Mine,
Your concluding remarks.
I will only answer to one caller that mentioned my name, although vaguely, where you said grassroots structures should be strengthened. I want to tell you that the people in the villages are just deficient of enough knowledge of what's going on in Uganda. Because if somebody is coming to you popularizing PDM after giving you 1 million, in Parliament we passed 1 trillion for PDM, and corruption takes 10 trillion. That means everyone that is receiving 1 million would be receiving 11 million. So it is just deficient of knowledge for the people at the grassroots that they don't know what's going on and how bad we are thinking that they can ride over them. 2, I would love to thank the FDC. Currently we are having a party reorganization in Democratic Party. The team that we are running against is the one that is receiving the papers, is the one that is vetting us, is the one that is we are going to stand against, is the one that is doing everything. So in my that is one of the amendments of the Constitution that actually should be made, that during such elections where we are standing against each other, we need to borrow a leaf and have an independent person to take care of the party for the time being. And lastly, I would love to implore the Ugandans that as we go for the 2026 elections, go back and vote for the Uganda you need, what you need to see around you. Take statistics, look at where you were in 2021 and how you are today in 2026. Is it where you want to be? Can one of these presidents take you faster? Have you made any more connections? Are you more educated? Do you have enough? Try to balance up on what you were and what you are and what you want to be in order to see what kind of president you want to vote for 2026. I want once again congratulate my fellow Catholics for the new Pope, Pope Leo XIV. May you please embrace him, and may he have a good reign on the throne of the Pope.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Richard Sebamala, Member of Parliament to Bukoto Central. I understand you are also running for Deputy President General, and you want your flag to run against whoever is coming for the presidency of Uganda. We wish you luck here from on the spot. Commissioner Fred Bamwine, Office of the President, thank you, sir, for your submission. I know you've been sandwiched between two giants, but you are also a man of your own, and you held your ground. I want to thank you. Thank you very much, my brother Caps Hassan Fungaro, formerly Member of Parliament for Bongi County, and now acting president of FDC. At one point, you hosted 2 presidents in your constituency. Will never forget that. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And Ugandans, you know, we have a good country and we are good people. We've had a tumultuous time before, but I think we can keep it together. Sometimes you see these gentlemen and ladies when they look like they are maybe enemies. Let me tell you the truth. I sometimes walk with them in the halls of power. They are not enemies. These guys talk together, dine together, and win together. You don't have to kill each other because of them. Because for them, they are talking, they are drinking, they are discussing business and other things. So you should also take these things, you know, carefully. Good night and God bless Uganda.